Hey everyone. So today officially marks month 7 on testosterone. Not a whole lot has happened between month 6 and month 7, so this is probably going to be a pretty short video. Um, Physically, it's like more just kind of like of the same stuff. I'm not noticing things as much, but I think it's because things are settling out over time. My voice continues to deepen, I think. And I mostly know that because I get, before it starts to deepen, I get like some like voice cracks, and then all around like my neck, like in here, around like my vocal cords and my shoulders and stuff, starts to feel sore. Like it starts to feel like muscle tightness, and then my voice drops a little bit. And I have been taking these voice recordings on this app that analyzes your voice pitch and like standard female range. I can't remember. It's like above 145, but standard male range is like 85 hertz to 145 hertz. No, 145 to 175 is the androgynous range, and then 175 and like up to like 225, 250 or something is female range. And back in December, I took a recording, and my voice was at that point at 138 hertz, and now it's at 120. So it is continuing to deepen, even though I don't notice it. Other than that, I have like, my hair is like, so it's like all the hair is kind of there, and then it's just like thickening. There's like this coarseness to it. It's a lot darker, a lot thicker. I used to have like kind of like the backs of my thighs were pretty fuzzy, and I used to call them my cats, and now it's like they're more like gorillas. I because you don't really look like behind yourself a whole lot, and so I was like in the shower, and I was like, shaving stuff, and I was like shaving my legs, and then went to get out of the shower, and I was like, oh God, Jesus, I thought there was another animal back there. So that was alarming, and I removed those gorillas. Other than that, muscle definition is amping up faster now. So like, I go to the gym one day and I'll do like, like I'll lift some weights and stuff, and then my arm will like massive. You probably can't see it. It'd be embarrassing to show it. It's like little biceps. But I am happy about that. My pants are starting to fit differently, so they're like looser around my hips. My feet kind of look different. I don't know how to describe this, but they look like more manly feet, like not like disgusting or something. They just like, they look more rugged. Like there's like, I can see some veins in them a little more. They seem like a little bit wider. There's definitely like a different appearance to my feet. The veins in my hands seem to be like expanding. Like before they were kind of showing, but they were like thin, and now they're definitely thickening up a little bit. That's one of the things I find really amazing about this process, is that it's so gradual and so slow, and then you just kind of like one day you'll like look back on something, or like you'll see a picture and you'll think about it and just be like, wow, like, yeah, so much has changed. It's amazing. My bottom growth continues to grow. It's definitely like noticeable now, and I'm feeling less like weird about it. Like I'm like, it's just part of it. You can't pick and choose what happens, but as things start to like line up with the rest of your body, I've said this before, you definitely have this sense of like, the other things are totally fine too, and you don't really care about that as much, or at least I don't. Like, I originally was super freaked out by that happening, and now I'm just like, like, have seen some other, like, really, like, hot trans guys who, you know, they decided to never, like, they didn't ever want to get bottom surgery, which is, like, the boat that I'm in, just because it's not for me. It's, like, a lot of effort and stuff, and there's, like, a lot of complications that can happen. It's just not my thing. But, like, it doesn't make them any less of a man at all. And it's funny, too, the way we define men. And, like, I've been talking to, like, so I've been making friends with, like, a lot of guys at work and stuff, and asking them, like, about their views on, like, masculinity. Like, what does it mean to be a guy? And it's really interesting because, like, a lot of guys, like, they soften so much when you, like, you ask these questions. Like, they're just kind of like, you know, like, it's how you present yourself. It's like how you, like, it's like I'm a protector. Like, I protect my, like, my partner, or I, you know, I'm strong, and I'm kind, and I'm smart. And it's like a lot of that stuff that we hear from society about how men should be, most guys, like, don't actually pertain to that, and it really, like, fucks with them, which is really nice to hear, being, um, you know, being new to this journey of manhood or whatever. Uh, so I've been thinking a lot about that lately, and just, like, reflecting on myself as, like, a small child. Like, when I was a kid, I don't know how many people I told I was a boy. Like, I used to tell people that my name was actually Jack, because there was this kid down the street whose name was Jack, and I thought he was cool. And I think back on that, and I'm like, that's really funny. Like, how did nobody know? Because I always dressed in, like, boys' clothes. I got really upset when I couldn't play, like, the boys' sports. I was, like, always like, why am I always being put with girls? And then it was probably, like, not until I was around, like, 11, and I got my period and stuff too, that I started to, like, go, oh, I'm, like, different. Like, I'm not one of the guys. Like, I'm not one of, like, and, like, all my friends were, like, boys pretty much, or they were, like girls that were, like, cool. Like, they were, like, tomboys, and I just wanted to, like, run around outside and, like, play in the dirt and, like, build model airplanes and boats and, like, Nintendo 64 and stuff. And I never really ascribed to what girls like to do, and I didn't want to look like that. And I cut my hair really short when I was, like, 4 years old, because, like, my best friend had also cut her hair short, and I was like, yeah, like, I don't want to, like, have long hair like a girl. And I remember us having conversations about, like, when we would be older, we would be like, we would make video games. We would just play video games all day for, like, our wives. It's really funny. We both ended up queer. But yeah, that's really fun to think about. But also kind of, like, saddening, you know? Like, I was like, guys, like, listen to your kids, man. Like, I know, like, it wasn't so popular then, but, like, if you're out there now and your kid is, like, telling you, like, that they're upset about whatever gender that they're in, and they're like, no, I'm not, that's not me, like, that's not who I am, listen, because they probably know. And if they change their mind in the future, that's fine, but, like, go based on whatever they say. Like, don't try to put them in a box of, like, what you think they should be, because that was, like, really detrimental to my mental health. Like, I remember being, like, 5, 6 years old and being put into public school, and that was, like, the first time I had ever experienced, like, extreme anxiety and depression. And it was because I was realizing that there was a disconnect, between, like, the way, like, who I am and the way other people saw me. And people thought I was a boy because I had short hair, and that was cool. I was, like, fine with it. I remember, like, my, like, parents correcting people on it, and people always trying to, like, give me, like, girls' toys and whatever. But just listen to your kids, man. Like, it would have saved so much freaking stuff if I had someone who was just, like, or, like, if there was, like, someone who knew what trans was. Like if it was just like, but I mean, I grew up in Newfoundland in the 90s, and I still remember the first Pride Parade that I ever saw / went to. I was 14, and it was like a group of like 10 lesbians with like butch lesbians and their girlfriends with megaphones being like, we're here, we're queer, and something, something, something. And it was like they were just marching downtown, like through the streets of Newfoundland. And I think back on that sometimes and how far we've come since then. So, I mean, I was 14 at the time. So that was fun. Yeah. The clinic in Montreal has contacted me for surgery. Well, actually, no, it's not about surgery. Don't get too excited. So they contacted me to say that my file with my medical booby pics and stuff has gone through, it has started the process of being processed. So they have to like assess it, they have to go through my file, and for them to actually take a look at the file, they said it can take like upwards of 6 months. So like the average right now is 6 months. So I'm looking at 6 months just for them to look at the file, and then I'm assuming it goes pretty fast after that, but I don't actually know. So I have to bind for a little while longer, and yeah, which is okay because I need time to build up money and resources to do that. And ideally, I would like to be in a place like myself and like a friend / roommate who I'm living with right now. We live with like there's me, them, and 3 other roommates. So there's 5 of us, and ideally I would like it to be in a place where it's just us, for recovery reasons and stuff like that, and I can have like everything at like T-Rex arm level. And then I think okay, yeah, so that's where we're at with surgery. And then the other thing that's kind of funny that's happened is that I've started getting ID'd again at the liquor store, and I haven't been ID'd in a couple of years now. So I'm assuming that means that people think that I'm a male under the age of 21, which is really funny. I've de-aged, which I find really hilarious, and usually they just kind of like they'll ask me for my ID, and this one guy was like really kind of huffy about it, and he was like, I went to like buy like a bottle of cider or whatever, and he was like, I was like, you give me attitude right now, bro. Like he just like, he's like, do you have ID? And I was like, oh, sorry, ID? And he was like, yeah, ID. And I was like, okay, yes, I do. And like I was like taking it out, and he was like kind of like rolling his eyes as if he didn't believe that I could possibly have ID. And then I took it out and I like gave it to him. He was like, oh, okay. Ran me through. It was like awkward, and then it happened again. So maybe people think that I'm like a young male who's not legal to drink, but I haven't been ID'd in like 3-4 years at this point. So that's interesting. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Like there's not, I'm getting like more facial hair, like it's more like it's growing up here a little more. I'm still shaving it because I'm not super confident with it yet. I'm not really, I like being able to like blend in as like male when I want to, and then female as I want to at some points. Yeah, that's it. I'm hoping that like when I go to New Zealand, it's not going to be an issue with my passport. That is something that I have been thinking about for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Cross that bridge when we get to it. If I had to put on be super dysphoric for like 48 hours and put on a sundress and some makeup and like dress and drag, then that's what I'll fucking do. But I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Alright. Happy 7 months to me. Bye everyone. Have a good day.